by going through this, you are more likely to be seen as someone who brings value and as a person who reinforces what they say with what they do.
Welcome back. I've got Dean Kelly, the deal mechanic, with me again. Welcome back, Dean.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Dean, we talked last time about your perception of what value means. And I like the way you expressed it. It's what the customer's willing to put on the table. It's not what we put on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And that really helped me think about it's customer's value, not our
Yes.
value. Okay. So assuming the customer puts the value on the table, what happens next?
The simple way of thinking about value, to me, is in what I call the customer value lifecycle. So stage one is creating value, which is coming back to creating value in the mind of the customer by asking those questions.
Right.
Once you have sufficient value, clearly more value than the cost of your solution, we move to the next stage, which is capture value. So how do I, the sales organizer or the salesperson, capture a share of the value I created? So if we go back to an example where I've got a $60 million or $6 million solution,
right,
and I've created $10 million worth of value,
mm-hmm,
then by you spending $6 with me, you gain $4.
$4 million. Yeah.
So I'm looking to create that value, but I'm looking to capture the $6 million because that's a reasonable capture rate or a reasonable share of the value. You're better than your $10 million.
Yeah, good exchange.
And I'm better than my, say, $4 million, which might be the low cost. So create value then drives into capture value, which also supports the concept of value-based negotiation rather than discounting, which undermines the client's belief in your value as a seller. You're looking at having a business relationship develop in the capture value and in the negotiation. That then drives into a step we call credit for value, which might happen weeks or months after the deal has been implemented,
right,
to go back into the client and close the loop and say, when we spoke during the sales process, you said you needed these things here. Well, here's what we delivered, and hey, we'd like to get credit for that value delivered. At the same time, you're giving your sponsor in the account the opportunity to get credit within their own organisation for having made a good decision, having seen value to be derived by their organisation, and therefore they're more likely to then drive you back into the create value on the next project or the next opportunity.
And so the life cycle continues.
Absolutely.
So when you talk about credit, you're talking about a pat on the back?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. It's a pat on the back, yes, but you'd like a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest issues that I see in a lot of sales teams is the first deal they have business people involved in often. What happens by the next year, maybe a renewal, particularly in the cloud-based space with an as a service, they're now stuck down in the low levels of IT because it's a renewal. They've lost their relevance back to the business.
Right.
So what I'm talking about is coming in with a message around how we improve the business, help the business, and saying, while we were working with you, we found these other areas that we think would be important and strategic to you. So that credit for value is a little bit pat on the back. It's also a little bit, I'm more than what you judged me on the first time. There's more opportunity for incremental value here. And to help us remain relevant to the business, because obviously we want to move our relationship up and up and up in an organisation rather than be sentenced to purgatory in IT.
And you haven't used the word trust at all. I'm assuming the pat on the back, the credit is, we trust you more now. That, yeah, we are ready to go through the next cycle.
Well, how many salespeople out there go in and introduce themselves? Hi, John, I'm Dean, your trusted advisor. And to me, it's like you can't claim, you can't self-appoint. So to me, by going through this, you are more likely to be seen as someone who brings value and as a person who reinforces what they say with what they do. But only the client can bestow you with the trusted advisor status. I think it is an output of following this type of cycle.
And it is part of the credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. All right. So they're the three steps. Quickly again.
Create value, capture value, and then go in and get credit for value for yourself, but also credit for the people that sponsored you. So credit in the view of their own organisation.
And that drives the ongoing customer
Absolutely.
lifecycle value.
Bigger deals faster.
Great. Thanks very much, Dean.
My pleasure.